morning. I am Rose VANRIEL, your 6TP certified coach. You have just stepped into the 6TP Stillness and Wellness Club, the home of clarity and where every person grows. Every episode is designed to celebrate, to elevate your mind, to strengthen your spirit, and activate the version of yourself. Okay, let's get right away igniting into what really matters, your transformation. We will begin with the stillness. Stillness forces you to slow down enough to hear your true identity instead of the noise of expectations, fear, and other patterns. When we are in stillness, we are clear to begin scaling. So, to begin the stillness, find a comfortable spot. I'm going to walk you through it. Find a comfortable spot. Sit. Make sure your back is against the wall and your feet are flat in the floor. You could close your eyes if you choose to do so, or you could leave it open and just keep them focused in one point. Just relax. Relax. When you're in a stillness path, you see nothing, you hear nothing, you think about nothing. You are in the nothingness zone. In the stillness path is where really the transformation begins. You you empty yourself of unkind words, of judgments, of negative thoughts, of negative people. There is no shopping list. There is no to-do list. You are just in stillness. Feel yourself entering the path of stillness, where there is nothing, absolutely nothing taking place. And if any negative thoughts come to your mind, just get rid of it. Just ignore it. Feel yourself entering the stillness path and where everything's begin. You empty yourself from negative thoughts and you're able to scale, to come up with new ideas. You embrace creativity. You embrace problem solving. You embrace love, friendship. You embrace all positive values and reject, empty yourself of anything that is not worth scaling. You're going to remain there for a minute before we begin to transition again. Thus, breathe in. You're going to breathe in for 4 and exhale for 3. Let's do it one more time. Inhale for 4. Exhale for 3. We are going to begin counting back from 10, 10, 9, 8, 7. Just keep breathing, breathing and concentrate on your breathing. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. When you're ready, you could open your eyes if you had them closed. And if you had them open, you can begin to focus on other objects. Great. Thank you so much. Again, this is Rose VANRIEL, your CTP certified coach. Gregory, can you tell me anything that you were releasing during this meditation?
I was released with stress. I woke up and my back was bothering me, so just to kind of let it go. It was really powerful. Thank you.
Great. Thank you for sharing that, Gregory. This meditation is good for releasing the stress. And Lawrence, can you share one thing that you were releasing as well?
Sure. I think just a deeper breathing, just more calm, more relaxed, just tension.
Good, thank you. And Marta, tell me something that you were embracing instead of releasing.
Good, good morning.
Good
Yes,
morning, Marta.
yeah, this helps you mean to relax and connect with this relaxing time and the breathing, really. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for sharing, Marta. So, during the stillness path, we practice some mindfulness, some personal presence, inner peace, self awareness, and emotional regulations. Okay, now we're going to transition to path number 2, the scaling dream. The stillness, just empty for ourselves so that we can begin to scale. So, what is this exactly we do in the scaling dreamers? We try to make a difference. We have dreams, we put a timeline, we bring them into reality. What do we do here in the 6TP Stillness and Wellness Club? We help you clarify your vision, we help you plan, and most importantly, there is a system accountability and teamwork, collaboration. So, any dream that you have, bring it forward. Let's make it become reality. Okay. The scaling dreamer today, I'm going to give you an example of someone that we all are pretty familiar with that had a dream. She put a timeline in it, and her dream became reality. And that is exactly what we want to help you do here when we give you the 6TP pills. Let us go into it right away.
Stillness and Wellness Club, the 6 paths to personal mastery. Path 2, Scaling Dreamer.
The Scaling Dreamer path helps individuals transform big dreams into measurable goals through vision, planning, systems, accountability, and teamwork. Ordinary people become extraordinary the moment they decide to rise. Oprah did it, and so can you. And today, before we step into your transformation, I want to take you into her transformation. Not fiction, not fantasy. A real story, a true journey, a life built from poverty, pain, and purpose. What you're about to see is based on documented history, the real events that shaped Oprah Winfrey into the woman the world knows today. Let's step into her story and let it awaken yours.
Oprah Winfrey, a woman who rose from extreme poverty in rural Mississippi to become one of the most influential voices in the world. Oprah Winfrey, dream, deadline, reality. 1954, birth and early poverty born. January 29, 1954, in Kosciuszko, Mississippi. Raised in extreme poverty by her grandmother, often wore dresses made from potato sacks because the family could not afford clothing. Learned to read early and developed a love for storytelling. 1968-1970, moves to live with her father. At age 14, after a difficult childhood, Oprah moved to Nashville to live with her father, Vernon Winfrey.
She told him her dream clearly. I want to be a broadcast journalist.
1970-1973, sets her deadline. Oprah set a personal goal, be on television before age 20. She worked on public speaking, reading, and communication skills, joined her high school speech team, and won awards. 1973, dream becomes reality, 1 year early. At age 19, Oprah became the youngest news anchor at WLIC TV in Nashville. She achieved her dream 1 year before her deadline. 1984, breakthrough in Chicago. Oprah moved to Chicago to host AM Chicago. Within months, she turned it into the highest rated talk show in the city. September 8, 1986, the Oprah Winfrey Show launches nationally. The Oprah Winfrey Show premiered nationwide on September 8, 1986. It became the Tomiko 1 daytime talk show in America for 25 years. Oprah became one of the most influential women in the world. Summary, dream, deadline, reality.
Dream, become a broadcast journalist.
Deadline, before age 20. Reality, became a TV news anchor at 19. Legacy, built a media empire and global influence. Action step, get your journal and a writing utensil. Today, write down 1. Your dream. 2. Your deadline. 3. Your first step. Not all steps, just the first one. Destiny begins with one step. Affirmation. Repeat this with me. My dream is real. My deadline is set. My destiny is activated. I move with clarity, courage, and faith. Final reflection. Thank you for joining me today in this episode of the Transformational Path number 2, Scaling Dreamers. If this episode blessed you, share it with someone who needs a reminder that their dream is still alive. And remember, everyone has a dream, and by taking your daily 60p pills, we can help you make it become reality. Until next time, stay grounded, stay growing, and stay in your God-given purpose.
Hey, that's Oprah Winfrey's story that I'm bringing for you. You know, you're familiar with her. She had a dream. She had a dream. She set herself deadline. She says, before I turn 19, I want to become a broadcaster. She worked on her dream, and her dream was able to come through. So you have a dream, you can bring it out. We all have a dream. So in a minute or two, I want you to take out your journal and you're going to write down your dream. This is for you, your dream. What dream would you want to make become reality? You're going to set a deadline and just write down your first steps. Not 2 steps, not 3 steps, just 1 step. And that is going to be a working document that you are going to use. What is your dream, your deadline, and your first steps? Okay, Victor, can you share something that you wrote in that in your journal? Just your dream.
Yes, for sure. Good morning, Sister ROSAURA.
Good morning, Brother Victor.
My dream is to coin the phrase, when I'm losing, I'm just starting to win. And I want to do that by building platforms that allow me to speak and pour into people and to make them realize that they can do hard things all of the time. And I want to help people be better, mentally, physically, and spiritually. And my first step is actually writing that phrase over and over and over until I don't forget it and say it around enough people until it spreads around the world.
Thank you so much for sharing that, Victor. And did you put a deadline that when you're going to do that for?
Yes, that deadline is going to start with my audiobook coming right out at the end of this month.
Great, great. Thank you so much for sharing. Just as Oprah did, just as Victor did, we all have a dream. We all can set a deadline. We all can establish some goal and write down our first step. I want you to repeat this affirmation right after me or along with me. My dream is real.
My dream is real.
My deadline is set.
My deadline is set.
My destiny is ready to move with clarity, courage, and faith.
My destiny is set to move with clarity. I missed it. Clarity and faith.
Courage and faith. Thank you
Courage
so
and faith.
much. And those that didn't repeat it aloud, I know that you repeat it in your mind, and that is the important thing. That's where it's supposed to be, your mind. Use this as a working document. Now we're going to go to our next line, which is the creator path. In the creator path is where we build things then, is when we make things then become different. Okay. And Victor went a little bit ahead of it because he said his phrase that he wanted to coin. In the creator path, I decided today to create a signature. A signature is your personal stamp, the word or phrase that becomes instantly connected to you, your message, and your identity. Victor, you just did yours ahead of time. Martin Luther King has his own. Always do the right thing. Nelson Mandela has his signature that as soon as you hear it, you know it's Nelson Mandela. Walt Disney. If you can't dream it, do it. We all have words then that when we hear it, we know who they're coming from. And this took me maybe 30 minutes to create a signature, something that is I'm going to be known for, something that others is going to remember me for. And the important thing is something that is going to be part of my legacy. You can create something simple, something complicated, something complex, something small, something big, problem solving, create something. Create something. We all have God-given gift that allows us to create. And this is my signature that I created, my personal signature that I hope to use. Dream the impossible. Believe it anyway. Transform into the extraordinary. And I thought about it and I said that sort of represent the values of the 6TP Club, Stillness and Wellness Club, and it represent also who I am. Do you have any signature for who you are knowing? And if not, this is a chance to add another brick to your word of legacy. Create a signature. Gregory, you have a signature. Do you want to tell us a little bit about it?
Absolutely. I have a couple of them, but the one that resonates with me this morning, thank you for inspiring us to have a signature, because that's what people are going to remember you by. So my signature for the day is through servant leadership. In the work I do, I'm committing to building something bigger than myself, a legacy that lifts others as it grows.
Right. Thank you. And remember, That is another brick that you put in on your wall and your legacy wall, because we have a wall that we are filled in bricks by bricks. Just imagine a construction. And Sir Perseverance, you heard his signature already, but just repeat it one time, Victor.
When I'm losing, I'm just starting to win, and it represents that you are not moved by your current circumstances when you're trying to win. You've already seen the ending. You know that you won, and it's just a matter of staying the course and getting to the end.
Thank you so much. So you already started and have many bricks and your legacy wall. Thank you. And let us have one last one. Dr. Pina, can you tell us a little bit about your signature?
Yeah, my signature is el poema es metalenguaje. The poem is meta language. So I have 36 years with a signature phrase quote from the international meta poetry movement. So I said, that's something that will put as a tattoo. So it's something I want in my tomb. It's going to be el poema es metalenguaje. This is a complete way to see poetry around the world.
Thank you so much, Dr. Pina. So anytime anyone hears that phrase, it could be a word, it could be two, then they will remember that that is Dr. Pina. It represents his values, it represents his beliefs, and most importantly, it is another brick that he places in his wall of legacy, because we all are creating legacy. Now we're going to go to this fourth passionist. Let me see something here. The creator. Now we're going to go to the next part of the old 60p pills. I mean, these pills are similar to a multivitamin. The multivitamin nourish our health or physical health, and the 60p nourish our emotional well-being. So in the fourth passionist, we have myths and we have facts. So some of us believe that if you exercise and you do long workouts, it helps your hearts. But the fact is that even short, brisk wall can help our heart. I was reading last night in this several research, and it says that many people don't really exercise because they don't have time. And here we have a guest that is going to tell us, or going to show us how you could find time to do whatever. Just sit back for this treat. Ready? You can do these exercises anywhere.
El caballo. Usted abre las piernas y se mueve sus pies.
You can follow along with Martha.
Este puede hacer 10 repeticiones.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. So we have our beautiful Martha that gave us an example of how you could use your exercise anywhere, anywhere and anytime. Martha shared with us that she was once in the airport and she was bored waiting on the plane and she began to do her exercises. And other people began to join us. So exercise is different for different people. You could do anything that you want to do. Just move your body. Just keep it moving and you will be exercising. It's different for everybody. Some of us like to use the run, walk method. Some of us will go swimming. We do different things. Um, let's see. Lawrence, tell us a little bit about what exercise. What do you do to move your body? Just keep it moving.
What I do when I'm not cold plunging is I try and do walking. So I've been trying to do more of that. And when we do our exercises, usually I do the Galloway method. So the run, walk, walk, run method. So alternating. So you give your body a little bit of rest while you're doing that. And that works for me.
Thank you so much, Lawrence. And by the way, that run, walk, run method, my cardiologist says to me, you do that method sometimes? I say, yeah, sometimes. She said, but you don't run that fast. You don't have that much balance yet. I said, well, I walk a little fast. And she said to me, you know what? You could do it. You could modify it. I want you to walk with a little speed, then you stop, you walk slow, and then you walk a little speed. So you could do it by just walking, but use different levels of speeds. So exercise is adaptable. Exercise is a must. And the CDC did an interviews, and it says a lot of people believe, it was 68% or so believe that exercise, they don't have any time. But Martha just shows that you can do it anywhere and anytime. So let us go to our next path, is the authorship path. In the authorship path, we learn to be writers, as you did a few minutes ago, writing down your dreams. But guess what? A lot of people say, I don't know what to write. I don't have any idea. I was a classroom teacher, and the students used to tell me the same thing. I don't know to write. I don't know what to write. But the writing ideas come from anywhere. Comes from as you start with simple words, with phrases, then sentences, and one sentence build on the other. But we all have a story. We all have an idea. We all are writers. We are writers from the beginning of life. From the time we begin to make songs, eventually we put those songs in papers, and that's how words are formed. So you could write something about a mistake. You put them all together. A memory, a challenge that you had, something that came out wrong, and you turn it around. You have ideas that come from everywhere. My favorite one is a cookbook. You could do that and collect all of grandma recipes. Remember, that's another brick that you put in your wall of legacy. We are building our legacy brick by brick. And whatever you put in writing is what stays. What's not in writing didn't happen. If it's not written down, it didn't happen. Here I have an author that told us a little bit about how she got the ideas for her book, Rejected, Wounded, and Healed. So let us listen to this interview. It was a brief interview that I did because I am interested in where those people get their ideas for books, because there are millions of books out there. Okay, let us listen to this.
Good day. Regina, your journey as a writer is remarkable. and filled with purpose. Writers frequently say, I don't know what to write about. Where do some topics come from? Let's begin with the heart of your story. What inspired Rejected, Wounded, and Healed? How did you come up with that topic?
Well, thank you for this interview. First of all, it's the topic came from experiences that I went through since very young. I always felt rejected in family situations and sometimes at school. And growing up, I had experiences with close families of rejection. So the pain of the emotional pain brought me to a point where I said enough was enough. And when I learned how to overcome it, I said it's time for me to share this experience with the world so others could see what rejection really is, how harmful it could be, and why we have to put a stop to the emotional pain.
Thank you for sharing that, Regina. Now that we understand where the topic came from, let's go a little deeper, even though I think that you touched that topic already. Every book carries a message at its core, something the author wants the world to remember. What is the main message you want humanity to take away from Rejected, Wounded, and Healed?
To me, the main message here is that rejection is something inevitable. We all experience it. And it's important to understand the topic. It's important to understand how to overcome it. In this book, I present what I call the ABC method, where the first step is acknowledging the pain, A, acknowledging what rejection is and how it affects us. B, putting a stop to the emotional pain. B stands for boundaries, putting limits. And finally, reconnecting with ourselves. C, connecting with who we are, connecting with people that accept us, connecting with circles that are positive for our well-being. And that's what I want people to take from this book, that it's possible to overcome rejection, and it's possible to carry the legacy that rejection is inevitable, but we can master how to put stop to our pain. Thank you.
Regina, thank you for sharing your journey and the powerful message of Rejected and Wounded, Heal It. Your story lights the path for anyone rising from rejection into healing and purpose. And you have reminded us of something every writer needs to hear, that meaningful topic often comes from the very experiences, questions, and quiet moments life places in front of us. Thank you so much, Regina, and continue in your journey.
And this is actually an factual story. So you have examples of dreamers, Oprah Winfrey, how she dreamed and her dream became reality. You also have an example now of a writer where she got her stories from, starting out from a very young age. There are things that if you have a story, you have a book, and you have to put it in writing. So before we go to this pack number 6, where in terms of where those people get the topics for these stories. Victor, are you writing a book? Tell us a little bit about where you got your topic, because your topics all over.
Well, when I look around, I see a bunch of people who, um, grew up in circumstances similar to mine. People who, came from poverty. They came, from tough neighborhoods that were ridden with gangs and drugs and violence and all sorts of things, right? And, sadly, sometimes I go back to some of those neighborhoods and I see the same people in the same place where I left them 30 years ago. And the only thing that has changed is that they're older looking now, right? And it dawned on me, right, that there are people who think that their yesterday defines their today and their tomorrow, and that they believe that they're victims of their circumstances. They believe that they can't come out of it because the the deck is stacked too hard against them, right? And my story is really not different than theirs, but for me, it was wanting to stretch my borders, wanting to realize that the world was bigger than the block that I lived on, wanting to just be more than I thought I could ever be. And I just, you know, I was blessed with a few opportunities, especially this one school in Harlem that I call my giving tree. You know, I got an opportunity to study at a place that was very different than all the ones in my learning environment. And that place gave me summer work. I learned a lot of skills of maintenance. I went back every summer to do that. So when other kids were doing nothing and hanging out, I was going to work every day. And it was also the place that helped me get an internship at a bank, do the board of the school. And then I got my first job working, at the bank after college. And after 9/11, I came back to the school to give back to it and also to continue to receive because I became the school's, director of finance and operations, and that propelled my career. So this place was my giving tree. And as a result, I learned that there are other people who need to hear that story, and they need to be realizing that they don't have to be held hostage to their circumstances. And that's why I say that when I'm losing, I'm just starting to win because I started my life in a severe deficit, right? Poverty, things that, no opportunities, no hope. You were just destined to continue the cycle of poverty. But I just felt that I was always going to win. I always had dreams of grandeur, and I'm starting to realize that I'm winning.
Thank you so much for that wonderful story. And remember, if it's not written down, it didn't happen. That's the only way that you can leave legacy by putting it in writing. If you have a story, you have a book. And it's about anything that happened to you, anything you could put in writing. I want to call on Dr. Pina just for a minute or so, because I know Dr. Pina have many, many, many books then, and his wall of legacy is tremendous. Dr. Pina, you want to tell us at least one of your books where you got the ideas from? Because we all have ideas to write. We just have to become brave. Come here to the 60p Stillness and Wellness Club, and we're gonna help you put it on papers. You have the idea.
Yeah, in the case of the poetry, we by reading, and having the time to get a poem from the sublime. We don't know where it comes. It comes from sometimes from a dreamer. It comes from a sensation. You know, once you are a poet and you have written one poem, it's not necessarily about people say so. You have to write about love or you've been in love with somebody else. No, sometimes it's not like that. Sometimes it comes from a specific moment in history. The first book is 1990, the Passion of Dreams. I remember it was like done by criticizing myself, by writing myself, by pushing myself, by also working from the unconscious, bringing everything that I had at that moment. I remember the first five poems. It came like forcing myself to bring ideas that I have. I started putting titles together. Any theory that I wanted to, any poems that I saw that is some kind of interesting. I wanted to compare the big poet or Neruda or Cesar Vallejo or Pablo or Borges from Argentina. So I wanted to use to wow how he came up with that idea, what he was thinking about it. How can I have a book of, how can I have a poem of, and then that's was the last passions, the passion of the dream, and then the last poems of that book, it was about some of my friends that I wanted to dedicate some books specifically to them. One Fernando Vargas, and he's still alive, and Reyes, one of the best poets in his generation. I just wanted to, say something about them and say something in my book with meta poetry that later became meta poetry. Yep.
Thank you so much, Dr. Pina, for sharing that, because I know that you have many stories to tell. And remember, if you didn't put it in writing, it didn't happen. You have to write your story. Anything that happened, poetry, like Dr. Pina. We have many genres. We have business, we have history, we have science, biography. Remember, we are lifelong learners. And the good thing that I like about the science of scaling is that it's not only for leadership. You could apply this principle to any area of your life. For example, if you're thinking about reading, it is identity based. You cannot say when it's identity based, you walk with a book. Yesterday I saw a little baby. She was in her car, and sorry I couldn't take a picture. She was reading. Her mother gave her a book, and she was reading. So it is identity based. You walk with a book. You always have a book with you that you read at night, that you read in the morning, as we do. We read every day here. That's how we develop a love for reading, and we get vision. It is a non-negotiable. We can't say that we love reading when we only read for 10 minutes. We have to raise the floor and read for a little bit more time. Um, and we have to also eliminate what doesn't scale, what doesn't allow us to continue reading. And focus path. We have to read things them that we like, things them that are going to help us accomplish our goals. That's what we need to be reading. So Dr. Hardy also teaches something for this thinker path, that reading should be your identity. And your identity means you need to raise the floor. And instead of reading 15 minutes a day, you could increase it to a little 20 minutes a day. That is something that we could teach your children, that you could teach a neighbor, that you could teach yourself. Reading is power. So, in this thinker path, I also want you to think about the things then that you need to eliminate that is not making you reading. The amount of time that you should read. Are you talking on the phone? Are you texting? Swiping? What are the things then that don't allow you to scale in the reading area? Victor, you want to share with us?
So some of the things that keep me from writing the way I'd like to write more is basically just like the exhaustion of life, right? I'm personally in the survival mode right now, and I'm trying to balance book projects while also trying to figure out how I'm going to keep my family afloat, with different ventures. Like I'm literally at a point in my life where not a, like very few dimes are coming in from anything other than my own sacrifice, my own efforts. It's like if I don't produce, I don't, if I don't put in, I don't put out, right? So, so I guess it's time management, right? It's making sure that I find a dedicated time to do intentional writing. And I'm actually going to propose something to the group in the coming days. I want to fill the space that we used to occupy at 5 a.m. I want to fill that space with intentional, like study hall time for us. Nothing structured, nothing scheduled. Just show up and come there and think and write while you're on the screen with us, right? We're all watching you. We're seeing if you're really doing your work, right? And I want to propose that to the group and, stand by for a proposal this weekend.
Oh boy, Victor, thank you. Talking about accountability now. That we have to say what we say we are going to do.
Yeah.
Okay.
I want, excuse me. I I find some paper and somebody give it to me. Uh, the the dream is it's powerful. The power of the dream. Um, everybody have a dream,
Thank
and
you, Marta.
yeah, very interesting. And they have a basically todos tienen that ORG. Es a organization, es Christian um, um, organization. And now I find in my paper that I put in my table, and it's related with what you're talking about dreams. Thank you, Rosaura. Have a
Thank
great
you.
day. And
Thank-
the wonderful, wonderful, wonderful program.
I want to
Congratulations.
I want to inspire you, Marta. I want to inspire everyone that is
Absolutely.
listening that we could scale and we could become excellent writers.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Amen.
Yeah, we
Amen.
have to raise the floor and
Yeah.
eliminate what doesn't allow us to scale.
Yes. Thank you.
Okay.
God
So
bless.
thumbs ups if you caught a new idea today that you want to spread like fire. Thumbs up if you got a new idea today and you want to spread it like fire in this session today. Thank you so much.
I see you're about to go into our book. I just want to say something very quickly. Um,
Sure.
I was working with somebody, somebody that I'm trying to convince to let me do some work for them. And
Mm-hmm.
and one of the first conversations that we had was, how they want to grow, the school and all this stuff. And I say to them, I have a good book for you to read. And I recommended the book, just in the early stages of the conversation. And when we had our follow-up conversation, the first thing the person did was pop out the book. Oh my God, this is great. And I'm just like, it's like I've already started reading it and I've already re-envisioned how I'm going to do this and do that. Like I'm all over the place. Like, what did you do to me? So kudos, Dr.
Yes.
Hardy.
So good news spread like fire, Victor. The book is good and other people are reading it. And I find it that if you're not into leadership positions, you could use it in your home. Find out what is it not working. Raise your floor, raise your standards. No more reading 10 minutes. What about 20? That becomes part of your identity. It becomes part of you who you are. I remember once I took a class about nutrition, and when I went, the nutritionist always say, "Let me see your bag." If you're talking about nutrition, you always have to have a fruit inside of your bag. That becomes part of your identity because you're going to be hungry and you're going to eat whatever. So the same thing Dr. Hardy is trying to tell us. That scaling, it could apply, the principles could apply to any part of your life, of your home. It is part of who you are, and it's part of what we will teach you to do here. Now, are you ready for the transformation? Do you want to know exactly how you get it done? Dr. Pina, you want to tell us about that part?
You're talking about the Say it again.
The six transformational paths, how you get it, the tears.
Oh
Anyone
yes,
that wanted,
yes, yes. Yeah, you can start right here with foundations, and you can go directly to the school system. You go to S 60p, 60p stillness and one club. You go to that space, and in that space you can go directly to what we call the steers of the 60p. You start with foundations, and here you're gonna be part of the community. You can have access to the school, access to us. You can at any moment for 99 you can be a member. But also if you want to have a weekly coaching space that you can attend and you can be accountable, the best way to start the whole process is to ascend from the foundation to ascend. And you're going to have more accountability. You have a group that you're going to belong to that's going to be part of your transformations. And if you want to have a licensed professionals behind you, you can have a licensed coach behind you, assigned for you for life. Because membership is going to be for life. You can go to Alchemy. And now you can go to the 60pswclub.com. You can register, you can send your applications. And if you want more, we have the our AI communication, Lawrence put together the 3 tiers. But if you want to do more for your group, for your family, for your institutions, then you can come up with the legacy of 5,000 or 15,000 a month for people, for group, for family who want to come together, have the weekly, bi-weekly, monthly assigned licensed professionals and coach, and become part of the unique non-medicines prescriptions for wellness in the whole world. We're unique. Be part of this amazing club and just change, transform your life. Rosaura.
Thank you so much for that, Dr. Pina. So we have many tiers. So we are here. We are ready for you. Your transformation can begin today. The decision is yours. Thank you so much for everyone that participated. And remember, read, read, read. That becomes part of your identity. Thank you so much.